welcome to Stock Talk. This is your host Scott. Hope you had a good week of trading this week in the market. I've had a pretty rough week this week with one of our stocks that we hold pretty good, NVAX. That one had actually done pretty good the last week or so, and then this week it's gotten clobbered. We'll talk about why that happened, what's holding it back right now. Some others that have been going down as well as the MSTR. Bitcoin's been doing pretty steady, holding pretty steady, but they pulled back a little bit with the NASDAQ as it's pulled back this week. The NASDAQ didn't manage to close green today, so maybe we'll have a change of heart tomorrow. We'll see. But we're going to talk about everything that's going on with the stock portfolio. And we'll take a look at that, and we'll just go over there now and take a look at that and talk about what's been happening this week. All right, so here's our portfolio. As you can see on top of the list is Tesla. Right now, I'm not holding any Tesla. I've been really tempted to buy some. Let's just take a look here at the markets. You see the S&P was up today. Dow was up really good today. The Dow's been doing pretty good, and the NASDAQ managed to squeak out in the green, but it was down in the red, as you can see here, most of the day. Oil up just a little bit today as well. So, but let's get back to Tesla here. Tesla had a rough day. As you can see the little chart right here, but let's go ahead and pull up today's chart. It's had a really rough week. But today it started out up here and it pulled back. But let's take a look at our 5-day chart here. So we made a different move today. We'll talk about that as well. Have not added it on to the portfolio yet, so I need to do that. All right, so let's go back and Tesla again pulling back this week. Just haven't purchased it. We sold out of it last week, if you recall, so I'm not in that one. If you recall as well, we were pretty much sold out of Tesla. We sold out of NVAX in our IRAs. So MSTR we're still holding. This one here has pulled back since we bought it, and it's following the NASDAQ more so than it is actual Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been pretty steady. Actually up a little bit, but the NASDAQ, as it pulls back, this one's been pulling back with it. As you can see here, another 2% today. It looks like another percent in after hours. Even though it did have some green yesterday, and then pulled back. You can see here, it had a nice little move Tuesday and Wednesday there, and then it just kind of sold off today. So we're going to be watching this one, but this one we're in, it's just going to kind of take a good week in the NASDAQ as well as a good week in Bitcoin. And we'll see this one get back to where we need it to sell. But we're down a good little ways on this one right now. So we're just going to hang on to it. That's what we do. Sometimes you can't turn these things around in a week. Sometimes it takes months or even years sometimes. So that's what we do. X has been doing real well here lately. U.S. Steel. So U.S. Steel's done real well the last month especially, but you can see the 5-day chart looks pretty good on it as well. It did pull back a little bit, but this level here, I've been waiting on the 2021 level, and you can see it hasn't got there. This is a 5-day chart. Let's take a little bit go back a little bit further, and you can see it hasn't been in that 21 level in a while, so 22 might be the level. But yeah, 22 is probably your better chances there, but 21 would actually be a great buy if you can get it now. But this one's it's holding up real well because it's kind of infrastructure type stock. So keep an eye on that one. It could go up further, but if you get a chance, it pulls back. You can think about that there. But do your own due diligence on that. HUT MF. This is a Bitcoin mining stock and has been getting actually crushed here lately. So we're hanging on to that one. You can see not too long ago it was at $6, but now it's all the way down to 4 something. Not really sure why that's happening other than, Bitcoin's just kind of floundering. It's not really doing anything major. So, but I did see the CEO. I watched her on one of my shows I watch on YouTube, and was really impressed with her. Seems real knowledgeable, and seems like a good game plan. They hold on to all the Bitcoin pretty much. Only time they sell their Bitcoins when they're buying more mining equipment. So really, really was impressed with her. So I feel comfortable with that. I'm just going to hang on to it. I'm sure it's going to probably take off at some point. They actually own probably more Bitcoin than any company out there. NVAX, here's the one that's been really a disappointment this week. We did sell out of it, though. The good thing is we sold out of it last week. Okay, that was the good news, and we sold at some good levels up here at 240 something. The bad news is we bought in too early as it started to drop. Okay, and that's this part of it. It's hard to time these things, and so you want to kind of cost average as you buy in, but who knew it was going to go this low? It actually hit 150 something today, so 155. So this is just an incredible level. It's gone from here to here, and let's talk about why that's happened. All right, so you got to go back earlier in the week. Let me check if I can pull some of these articles up here. The first disappointment came on the 3rd. Let me see if I can find that article. And it had to do with, says here that Europe to get Novavax COVID-19 vaccines, but not before end of 2021. So that's kind of what spooked the whole market there. As far as Novavax was concerned, they were, I think the expectation was they were going to get some of this stuff out there quicker than that. But it looks like it's going to be the end of 2021 before anything goes out into the UK there, which is, our Europe there. And, the expectation was probably for more than that, quicker than that. But still, it doesn't really change anything, just the timing of things. So the revenue will be the same. It's not like they're doing any less. So that's what started the downfall on the 3rd. And it really, really took a hit there. Let me show you that real quick. It dropped really, really bad that first day. And let's just go back to the chart here. Here's the 5-day chart. You can see Monday the news came out, and we were, let's see, right up in here. This was Friday where it closed, and then Monday it popped open and just dropped straight down. I started buying. I actually had thought about 235. Remember, I had talked about that in the last video, but I said, well, I'm going to hold off and wait a minute and see how low this thing's going to go because it was falling so fast. And it got to around 225 or so. Actually, it got down to here, but it seemed like it was held up at that 225 for a little bit. So I started buying at 225.20. Didn't hold that very long, and then it started dropping again. So it dropped another $3, and I bought it 222.23. And I thought, well, that's good. I got a lot better price than I thought I was going to get. Then it dropped $5 more. So I went in after it 217. It dropped $3 more. I went for 214, and then it dropped $9 more. So you can see it was just a terrible, terrible day, and I ended up getting it at 205 as my last purchase. Okay, so that was Monday. You see what happened Tuesday? It came out falling on Tuesday, and then it actually was able to pick back up, and I thought everything's good, and we're running pretty steady on Wednesday. And then Biden comes out and says, he talks about intellectual property, and he has no problem with sharing the intellectual properties for these vaccine that these companies have put out. Of course, it knocked down all the vaccine stocks and clobbered them really good. So that intellectual property is just like almost like the recipe for these vaccines, and it's very private stuff. But so that really rocked these stocks some more. You see here that on that day, towards the end of the day, let's see, let me pull that up for us here. So that was Wednesday, and then when that news came out towards the end of the day, so we were up actually about $10 for that day, and then it dropped like $30 real quick. Like I was watching it, and then it went up about 10, got back about 10 of it, and then it went back down. Uh, Today it really got clobbered on the open, went down to 155, and managed to fight its way into the green a couple of times. Up about $4. Ended up closing up 78 cents for the day. So it looks like the bleeding may have stopped on that. Uh, but it's been a terrible week for the stock. I've got all the confidence in the world for the stock. Again, there's three things I look at when a stock starts dropping. You got to, first of all, is the market broke? We got a little bit of that with the Nasdaq pulling back, so that was that you could probably answer that yes, sort of. And then the second question you ask is the company broke, and the answer to that is no, absolutely not. They are still on track to get some of these approvals, still on track to get these shots in arms. So the company itself's not broke. So is the stock broke? And the answer to that is a big fat yes. So the stock broke. Nothing wrong with the company. The stock broke because of these news items. And this just goes to show you that the market is not always about a value of the company. It has a lot to do with fear. Okay, fear. People get scared when these news items come out and they start to sell off. And it doesn't take much to get a snowball effect going, and that's what we have. So here's the thing: when that happens, it's tough, and you got to start buying. And that's exactly what I did. Of course, I did it too early. Sometimes it would work out better if you're just a little bit patient, but then sometimes you can miss these dips. So it never hurts to start nibbling at a certain price. And if it keeps falling, just keep buying. But if you at some point you're going to hit your level where you say, okay, that's enough. I've got enough of that stock. And if it keeps falling, you just got to watch it. And especially when nothing else is broke, but you don't need to go all in on anything. Now I am all in on the cash account, but that's a whole different. I kind of treat that different than my IRAs and things like that. But uh, that one there is going to be fine, I believe. Just give it a little time as far as give it a little time as far as these approvals coming out, and they should be coming out any day now. They do have an earnings coming up in the 10th, I believe it is. So 10th, it'll be next week sometime. We do have earnings, so there may be some announcements there. Uh, the projection on earnings will be something to look at as well, based off of some of this news that's come out to see if that's affected anything. But I've got all the confidence in the world on this stock. So wished I would have waited. If I would have waited, I could have got it a lot cheaper. But it is what it is. You just have to deal with that and just hang in there. It can go up as quick as it goes down. I've seen it many a times. So just hang in there on that one if you've got it. I'm going to hang in there. I don't like to sell anything when it pulls back, especially like that. I just want to show you this chart, just a reminder here. This is not old. This is not old. It's happened before. You can see where we got up to this. This was actually a $300 level. 331.68 was the high for the year, and you see we did pull back down to 174 there. This high here was 228.25. We pulled down to 182 or so there. This high, 227, it pulled back down to 207. This high was the recent high. Actually, it says 236, but it actually got up to 260 something, and now it has pulled back to here. So this happens, and this, more examples here. You give this a 5-year chart, you see more of the same. These are pullbacks. This is pharmaceutical stuff. All it takes is a little bit of news sometimes, and you have to have a different mentality to play these type of stocks. And this is another reason, a good reason why, I don't stay in these things. We talked about this. I've done a video. If you've seen the video, The History of a Hog, you'll see that this is something that I've learned over the years. These things go up and down, up and down. It's hard to, you can buy and hold, and that's fine if that's your strategy. But I like to play these things and make, 10, 15% or whatever you can make on something like this. Sell it, wait for the dip, buy it again, do it over and over and over again. So uh, that's something that you can do. That's the way I play it, and that way, especially for a retired person, I don't have my money in the market all the time. So it's kind of like parked on the side. Sometimes if you have a market crash, you've got a lot of money on the sideline, and so you're now you can start buying other things too if the whole market crashes. But if you got your money on the sideline too, and this and stock crashes, we timed this pretty good on the sale. I mean, we didn't get the 160, we got the 145. I mean, 245 level, not the 260. But we sold it pretty good. But we just started buying in a little bit too early on this one. But it is what it is again, and we'll be watching that one, and hopefully it'll turn around here. Earnings. I don't think you're gonna get a whole lot of news before earnings, so they'll be probably next week sometime. Hopefully we'll get some good news at earnings, and we can get a pop back up and get over above this 200 level again. So let's go back to our portfolio. Take a look at that. All right, so the next on the list here is SPCE. That's our Virgin Galactic. It's gotten clobbered the last few days going with the NASDAQ. So you can see the downward trend there. We got a lot with the downward trend. So the NASDAQ's been pulling everything back, all these stocks. So we just got to ride it out while it pulls back. And Till rate is probably the biggest loser today. Took a 11% hit. So not really sure why it took such a hit today, but I'll have to dig into that a little bit. But not really worried about it. We're a long way to go on that one. Again, I was in at 66 on that one, and the high is 67. So that was my big mistake, chasing one. I've done it before, and that's one of the things I warn about not to do. So sometimes it's you do what you're not supposed to do, and we're going to be holding for a while. You pay the penalty. Nikola is pulling back a little bit. Again, with the NASDAQ, same looking chart. So if you pull up a NASDAQ chart, you'll see. Let's pull that NASDAQ up. That 5-day chart looks very similar. You can see here we got a downward trend. So you can expect that when your NASDAQ goes down, these high tech stocks, they're going to pull back pretty regular. Just something you can always expect. And if you're in the market, that's the thing. When the market goes down, usually your stuff's going to go down. We did have a green day today, so some of them didn't manage to even get green. But this was you can see the chart here. It was down almost all day, and just kind of squeezed out some green towards the end. So hopefully that's a sign for tomorrow. It'd be nice to close on a strong note because we sure need to. We'll be watching NVAX. Hopefully it gets another green day under its belt just to get it further away from that 155 bottom it hit today. I don't want to see that again. We want to definitely stay above that. You can see what it closed at 170 something, and it was hit at 155. So just a big swing there. Hopefully it stays at the top of that scale there. But other than that, we're just going to be pretty much. I'm going to try to get that MPC leveled out in my accounts. I did get one account filled up with it. Some of the cash I put to work. I want to do that with the same other IRA. So just want to park that cash in something that may pay off in the next few days. So anyway, no pocketing the money this week. Don't look like we're going to make any kind of trade that's going to pocket any money. But we've had a pretty good month last month with that, and I'm not sure. We may have pocketed. Yeah, we pocketed some last week. Had a good week last week. So we're okay for the month on that. It was a good week. So I think we're fine for the month on the pocket. And that's kind of our strategy. We focus on that pocketing as much as we do the levels of the IRAs and things like that, the portfolios, because, it's just so important to make those trades and make that money. And then when these markets go up and down, that kind of cushions a lot of that pullback because you've pocketed so many trades. That's kind of my strategy. Appreciate you subscribing to the videos. It's been a couple of them picked up here lately, and I appreciate that so much. If you haven't subscribed, please do that. Click that subscribe button. It should pop up right over here, and go ahead and click that button. and click the like button if you like the videos. We'll get back with you next week, and see you then. Thanks.